We're going to move right along here to the approval of minutes. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the May 19th, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the closed session of the Board of Education's May 19th, 2026 regular meeting as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Do we have any public comment this evening? Nope. On to our consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Number 1, personnel recommendations. Brooke Davis, special education teacher. Viviana Medina, special education teacher. Gage Dill, night custodian. Tiffany Rupsis, TA summer school. Sarah Goodpaster, TA summer school. Jill Jackson, social worker summer school. Resignations and retirements. Number 2, approval of the May 2026 expenditure report. Number 3, approval of the June 2026 expenditure report. Number 4, ratification of the May 2026 regular payroll.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Herman.
Yes.
Ms. Franklin.
Yes.
Mr. Avia.
Yes.
Ms. Mill.
Yes.
Ms. Conover.
Yes.
Mr. Marin.
Yes.
Motion passes. On to information and discussion. Let's talk preschool. Preschool curriculum, Frog Street.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Tiffany Teresi, Director of Student Services and Early Childhood. So part of that role is overseeing our preschool programming at South School. And the administration would like to recommend the board consider approval of the Frog Street curricular program as a formal curricular resource for our preschool programming. Over the past couple of years, we've been doing some work in the area of curriculum and instruction to align with going up into kindergarten, grade level, and beyond, and kind of aligning through scope and sequence, making sure students are prepared and ready for kindergarten. And so through that work, it has led us to the process of relooking at reconsidering our curricular resource programming. For the past several years before that, the teachers have been doing a really exceptional job of more so kind of teacher-created materials that are rooted in creative curriculum. So previously in the past, the team had formally adopted creative curriculum a number of years ago and then have been working from those materials for the past recent years. And so it was just a good time for us to kind of come back to the table, relook at everything as we're continuing to have conversations, working a lot with Dr. Carla Braun to make sure that we are preparing students for kindergarten. So the team came together and explored a variety of different resource options and unanimously came together in favor of the Frog Street curriculum. There is a couple things that stood out about the Frog Street curriculum in particular, and one of the main and most important ones was really preparing students academically from that instructional standpoint, as well as overall school readiness skills, social emotional skills as they enter into kindergarten. So at South, we get students who sometimes the day after they turn 3 are enrolling and starting in our program all the way through 5 years of age until they're kindergarten eligible in the fall. And so really making sure that we have a good balance of the academic and instructional component, the social emotional, developmental, and just the overall school readiness as we're preparing students to learn how to be students and enter into kindergarten and onwards. The Frog Street curriculum also has a really nicely embedded social emotional component, so it's not, something extra that needs to be done. It's not like this is your 5 minutes of social emotional time. It's everything embedded and weaved in throughout the lessons, and that build on the lessons throughout the unit. So it helps provide a really integrated and comprehensive approach to build those skills for our students. The approximate cost of this is about $9,600 for the curricular program that will be funded through our Preschool for All or our PFA grant. And we are looking for this to be approved to then implement and use starting this fall for the 26-27 school year and beyond that. All the information you guys do have in your board packet that summarizes what I just shared, as well as goes a little bit deeper into some more of the different parts of the curriculum. But any questions, anything else that would be helpful for me to hit on?
Can you take us through the rest of the PowerPoint, just so it'll be up on the,
Oh,
That's not,
oh, yeah, this
this
is,
is for the other thing.
This is
Okay,
for the
never
next one,
mind,
yeah.
never
Okay,
mind.
I was like, oh, is there a slide for me? No.
Disregard. Any other questions?
yes, any other questions about Frog Street? No? Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Carla, Star versus iReady. All right, so I am coming today. I'm going to present it at the June board meeting for approval, hopefully at the July meeting. So currently we use the iReady diagnostic 3 times per year. So our kindergarten through 8th grade students take an ELA assessment and a math assessment 3 times a year as our universal screener, and we've been using iReady for several years. We've come to this year, many teachers, some parents have come with expressing some concerns that iReady is not really meeting the needs of our students at this point for various reasons. One of the reasons is the length of the assessment. It's also, when we give assessments, we want it to be actionable. So we want the information to be something that we can use and we can act on right away, and we can make and we can help our students. And we feel that iReady is not really meeting those needs at this point in time. However, we still need a universal screener. It gives us really important information about our students. It really measures our students' achievement and growth. We use it for our MTSS process. We use this data for early identification to see what students may require additional support. And we also use it to progress monitor our students to ensure that they're growing at the appropriate levels. And it's something that's common among all of our grade levels. So we still need a universal screener. So I'm proposing that we move from iReady to the STAR assessment, and this for a couple of reasons. The big reason is for increased instructional time. So the current iReady assessment that we give, it can take some students about 90 minutes to take the ELA and 90 minutes to take the math. So that's 180 minutes 3 times a year. Where the STAR, it tops out at 20 minutes. So it'll be 20 minutes for reading, 20 minutes for math 3 times a year for that universal screener, but it's significantly less time. And then it's also a cost savings for us as well. So for iReady, it costs us approximately $40,000 a year. For the STAR assessment, the actual STAR assessment will cost us $15,000. And then the training for next year, because we will need to do some initial training, will be about $7,000, but we don't anticipate that being a continued expense as years go on. So that was decided because of some feedback, or a lot of feedback we received from teachers, some from parents, and that is our recommendation to transition from the iReady diagnostic to the STAR universal screener for the next school year. Does anyone have any questions?
Did any of this decision, anything going into the decision have to do with the lawsuits that are going on with iReady?
So there is a lawsuit for iReady, and it's all built around student privacy concerns. iReady has come out with a statement that's saying that they're not in violation of anything, so that's still in process. But for our standpoint, this is a lot coming from it's just not meeting the needs of our students. So that, I mean, yeah, that's a part of it, but the biggest concern for us is that it's just not meeting the needs of our students at this point.
Do you know why the 20 minutes versus the 90 minutes? It feels like a very big difference.
Yes.
What is different about that?
So when I talked with STAR, they say that they've done a lot of research on their end on how 20 minutes can give just as much high quality information. You still get a student growth score, you still get a proficiency, and you can, with high quality questions, you can still get that same information is what they say.
Okay.
20 minutes versus 90, so.
Yeah. I mean, I had the same kind of thought.
That's the
Like,
first thing I saw when I saw that.
That's an important question, but
It's a great question, yeah.
You're still going to get the same information, we're still going to get the same data, we're still going to be able to
Yes,
get all of that important student information.
I asked that question. They showed us reports. It looks very similar.
So the data's apples to apples, so you,
It's an adaptive assessment, just like iReady is, where what that means is as students get questions correct, they'll get harder questions. If they get questions incorrect, they get, easier questions. So it's the same style of assessment, yes.
Have you seen STAR used in other districts? And has anybody that you know made the switch from iReady to STAR?
Yes, so I was speaking with someone who made the switch from iReady to STAR, and she loved that decision. But there are a lot of districts near us that use STAR as an assessment. Yeah, I feel like when you're looking at universal screeners, it's typically MAP, iReady, or STAR. And I feel like MAP and iReady are very similar. They're almost the same thing. And STAR is similar and it gives the same information, but it's a less of a time commitment.
So will iReady still be like a resource? Because we use iReady for like lessons and stuff.
Yes, so we purchase currently iReady Diagnostic, the assessment, the universal screener, and then we also purchase for kindergarten through 5th grade iReady Math. And they're two separate things, and we'll still continue with the iReady Math resource for kindergarten through 5th grade.
And the junior high?
Junior high uses Carnegie.
Summer class is using iReady.
Yep. They're using a special program to determine what class they should be in the fall.
Yeah. I had it. So, and this could be ahead of ahead of where you guys are at. What's the thought? I mean, I think about iReady weeks, and I always know when iReady weeks are because it's like, make sure your children have slept, and
It'll be the
breakfast,
same.
and da 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 da.
Yes.
But 90 minutes is like,
Yes.
I mean, and they're like, we finished it, or we didn't, or we did it. Is the thought like this kind of fits into the class, or it's split up, or?
It'll be the same process, like parents will be notified ahead of time, make sure you rest up and everything, but the idea behind this is it will fit within a regular block of time instead of having to do it multiple days.
Yeah, 'cause
Sometimes
like math is
our,
split up over 2 days, and ELA is split up over 2 days.
it is, so then you're losing 4 days of instruction 3 times a year.
It's great. Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Just to note, I forgot to mention on curriculum, so Jack, we've gotten a bunch of stuff on curriculum that's coming like, the night and we got to approve, so let's just work on that for next year. Okay.
Yes.
From the timeline factor, because the public's got to have the chance. And we got to have time with it. So, baseball dugout donation? Is that you, Rob?
That's correct. So there is a generous donor who's an assistant coach, Alex Laskowski, at the high school. There have been concerns about the dugouts and how just kind of they're falling, not falling apart, but they're not what the team would want them to be up to speed. So looking at the information, they said, hey, what could we do? They looked into different ways to put together a brand new dugout. And in short, Mr. Laskowski would like to pay for the entire process. It doesn't require any sort of village situation or whatever. They just have to buy the materials and put it together with a contractor in the amount of $35,000.
Awesome.
Love it.
It's quite generous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very, very, very.
Thank you, Coach. It's amazing.
Yeah. What else do you need from us?
Well, we'll approve, hopefully we'd approve of the donation.
Approving it?
But I would like to just make sure that everyone knows ahead of time before we, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. District Athletic Committee meeting recap. Who's on that one?
Are you doing that, or?
Edith and Heather and Carlos.
I have nothing to say at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I could speak really briefly about it, I guess. So we had a second meeting, and the meeting was a little less abundantly attended compared to the first one, but there was a lot of hardworking people there who actually the focus of the meeting was on actual action, like what can practically be done. And I think that we came up with some really, really good things that involve coaches reaching out vertically along the district and outside of the district, which is nice. I think we also talked about maybe there's a lot of summer camps happening this year, but maybe extending that into the school year. What kind of events can be organized that aren't summer camps, or because it's not in the summer, but whether it's instructional or maybe just the presence of middle schoolers and elementary school students at varsity games to do something at halftime or something like that. So there's some work being done there as well. And yeah, what else? There were more actions that were agreed to pursue. You probably have some notes there.
I'll just be quick.
So we started the meeting, reviewed the previous agenda, and then really focused on our themes that we came up with. So first theme was communication. They're finding that there's communication gaps between elementary through junior high and high school. So we identified some action steps to support with that. Vertical alignment and feeder programs, how we can make sure that our K-5, the majority of that conversation was K-5, how there really aren't any programs or opportunities for our students and how we can enhance that for them. Talked about some different ideas, partnerships with the park district, and facility and improvements we didn't get to because we spent all of our time talking about the other two.
Yeah.
And then parent and coach education, which we are looking for a softball coach, and something that Dr. Weck said is something that would be really helpful is that recruiting piece, right? Making sure that we have coaches coming to us with experience that are willing to do the job. And so we talked about maybe some recruiting efforts to be able to support with that.
And we said we'd give a shout out at the board meeting for looking for a softball coach
Yes.
for the high school. And in the meantime, I got a name that I'm not going to say on the mic, but I got a name for Kevin.
I believe for assistant coach as well, right? So,
The coach typically chooses an assistant.
Yes.
Yeah, right,
You
exactly.
can still apply,
so,
but
but you can still apply. And that's more to come.
Awesome. Thank you, and thanks to all the folks that are involved in that. Self-workers compensation renewal.
Yeah, so we received our workers' comp renewal back from, it's from Self. So the renewal right now that we're looking at is pretty much on par with what we've done in the past. This is just routine that we have to do to be covered for every given year.
Any questions? Okay. Policy, second reading.
to do that.
Again, we're following press recommendations. They're a team of lawyers. They're the experts. They make changes to the documents, what they recommend us implement. We don't have to implement them, but they're the experts, so we're going to follow their recommendations.
Anything on policies?
I'm excited.
Cool. Town hall recap.
We had a full, small room, and we heard some new voices that had some real expertise. Tonight, I have to say, overall, I think I would characterize as a lot of support from community members for the concept. There was people in our community, I'll say, a gentleman named Tim, who has a lot of expertise in building projects over the years, and John, too, who are longtime residents and have a lot of familiarity with construction, who were supportive, but who had cautions about making sure that we attend to the safety needs of our kids during a construction project. So that was very appreciated. And I think tonight, of all the meetings, while there certainly were people who were concerned about the impact to taxpayers and concerns about making sure that we are very clear about what we're asking for and giving really details as much as possible about what the school could look like. Overwhelmingly, there were a lot of people in the room who saw the wisdom to the proposal we've made. So
You want to talk about last night's virtual one and anything from last night's and the one before a couple weeks ago?
We have about 20 people join us. Really great questions. Everything will be posted on the questions.
The town halls have been helpful because I think the things that people have expressed as concerns, we've tried to address, including doing everything we can to sharpen the pencil and reduce the costs, but there's still a cost involved. But one of the things we were asking, we thought we knew and we assumed, which is not where we want to be. We heard that, previously from a number of sources that the location on the north end of Ogden was not amenable to a significant portion of our population, bless you. But I think what we assumed was, okay, if that's not the answer, what about putting it Miller? And I think that is gaining momentum. Most people seem to think that makes more sense. So, or at least people who would prefer to see that who previously were not supportive. I think that was one of the things we wanted to float. That's what we thought we heard. So here's the solution. Is this what you want? And we're getting a lot of feedback. Yes. It's never unanimous. There's still concerns about impact to taxpayers, but the Miller location seems to be, to people who want a new school and are not religious about where it's at, they'll support it. The people who want it on this side of the community so kids are not bused from the time they're in kindergarten through high school or et cetera, people are gravitating towards that. So the recap of all the town hall meetings, and we did have 3 since our last one, was that the proposal we're putting forward, or that we floated in the community is more favorable.
Do you guys have a thought on what you would like to do moving forward?
Yes, so.
No. Like, obviously, you were making a recommendation to the board, I'm saying from a town hall perspective, from a meetings with the community perspective, not from, we know that you are recommending, we know that, but.
I think the recommendation to the board, and the board deserves and needs time to process and contemplate, and then depending on the board's decision, we would hold information meetings galore between that time and a November referendum. And we've done in the past, take all questions, be as clear as possible, put out all the information. There's already on our website, just documented, there's 8 different documents and a tax calculator. And it's before the board has even made a decision. So once the board makes a decision, that will guide our need to hold multiple town hall meetings and present as many details as possible and answer every question that people ask.
So what I'm hearing is if we don't make a decision until mid-August.
Our recommendation is that you take this under advisement, consider it tonight, and we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but we would ask if the board could make a decision in July that would give us enough lead time to hit it when school year starts and people are back in session. Now, it's the board's decision when they want to vote on it, but we're kind of melding items 7 and 8 here together, but that's okay. That makes sense. Our recommendation will be to ask the board to vote in July. But it's your decision if you want to wait till August.
Okay, so no more town halls between now and July at least.
We've held 7
Which is fine.
meetings total.
I want to make sure that it's.
So, yeah, I mean, people have had ample opportunity to come and go online, and there's all the information that's out there, and we feel comfortable putting forward a recommendation. And until the board makes a decision, I mean, there's no new information. So we're content that once the board makes a recommendation, then it's time for us to really put information out there and get feedback and not really feedback, but to answer questions. So to answer your question directly, no. It's not that long either. When is the July board
I
meeting?
feel good about that.
When is the July board meeting? We know, Shannon?
July 21st, I believe.
So with the holiday and giving people a chance to rest.
It's 5 weeks. Yeah.
Anything else on townhalls? Okay. Administration recommendation to the board?
We're getting semi-dramatic here. We're all going to go up to the podium and address the board.
Oh, boy.
I hope there's a song. A song.
This board meeting, the musical, is that what?
Oh, Carlos. Okay, so it really is an important recommendation, we believe, because what we're asking is significant for the board to consider. This is a quick recap, and we can post this on our website, correct? So, we think this is a tremendous opportunity to strengthen our school district and the community at the same time, to address the very real needs of facilities in our district that I don't think anybody really disputes. What we're going to do is the question, but that we need to do something is just without question at this point. It's been, the next thing we really want to make sure that we're clear on is that we acknowledge and deeply appreciate that this will be a sacrifice and a commitment from our community members. We don't just gloss over that. This is asking a community that already supports its schools for additional funding. And we take that very seriously, and we know it will be a heartache for some of our community members. It'll be a sacrifice for some of our community members. But we believe it's in the long term in the best interest of our community and certainly our school district to go in this direction. We've spent years of listening, quite frankly, and engaged in collaboration to come to a consensus for this proposal. And we've made alterations and compromises based on feedback from the community. Addressing this issue now is essential for the long-term health, safety, and success of our students and community, because prolonging it any longer will cost more, and we've seen that. In 2011, we could have built a new building for $20 million. Fast forward 15 years, our proposal's for $68 million. That's the cost of delay, and something needs to be done. And of course, there are those who say, how can we do this in a different fashion? This is the vehicle. We have a list of, and we'll return to this, these are just neighboring districts and the referendums they've passed. Now, I'm trying to be as gentle as possible, but either they all made mistakes by approving referendums, or, we got to figure out something that nobody else has figured out. This is the vehicle. You go to your public and ask for money to renovate in a major league way or to build a new building. So this is just a partial list of 46 plus districts whose communities have passed referendums. We have not passed a referendum, let me be clear, in 50 years in this district. There have been multiple attempts, and some lost by the thinnest possible margins. So the time is now, or to be fiscally responsible, the prices will just keep increasing. The recommendation reflects a fiscally responsible long-term solution. We think it makes more sense to build one new building versus renovate. The costs of renovation are close to the cost of building a new building, first of all, and second of all, we would lose the opportunity to consolidate and save money on an annual basis. And if we renovated the two buildings, the downtown area cannot be enhanced, as is the village's and idea, and we support that. A new K-5 building creates operational efficiencies and consolidation savings to the tune of conservatively $600,000 to $700,000 annually. The redevelopment of the Manning property is projected to generate tax revenues. The numbers from our village officials are at the tune of $800,000 a year, so that is beneficial to taxpayers also. The property acquisition was the most cost-effective option available. We looked at Naperville and Cass If we could have acquired those properties, it would have been north of $11 million. The Ty Warner property, if there had not been a donation, would have been close to $15 million. The Bank of America property, which is even for sale next to Manning, would have prevented the village from developing the downtown area and would have been over $5 million, conservatively speaking. So purchasing the properties from our neighbors south of $5 million is the most cost-effective land acquisition option that was available. 6 of the 7 property owners have reached tentative agreements with positive sentiment and amicable negotiations. Negotiations continue with the one remaining owner, but we met face-to-face with these community members, these neighbors. I think they will have all reported that they were treated with care and respect, and including one property where we will leave the property until such time that it's in the best interest of that current resident to move on from the property. So we negotiated in good faith, positively, respectfully, and that's what the neighbors are saying. That was a very much a priority for us, and treated them with compassion. That's the hallmark of this district. The delay in not approving a referendum has actually led to higher costs for taxpayers, as we've seen, and that will continue to be the case. So there's no such thing as a perfect solution, but we are confident that this is the best solution for our entire community. The proposed ballot language is, shall the Board of Education of Westmont Community Unit School District 201, DuPage County, Illinois, build and equip a school building to replace the J.T. Manning and C.E. Miller Elementary School buildings, acquire land, which gives us some option there if needed, though we do believe that the sale of Manning, which we're getting another estimate on, will pay for all the 7 properties that we're seeking to acquire. Improve the site, including playground space, additional parking and drop-off pickup zones, and issue its bonds to the amount of $68 million for the purpose of paying the cost thereof. We went to Nicholas and the architects and dropped the price after careful consideration from the low to mid-70s to $68 million. That's a decrease of 6 to 7%. It is $4 to $7 million. And in numbers like this, it may not seem like a lot, but it is $4 to $7 million less coming out of the taxpayers' pockets. We have spent considerable time on this. I wish there was an alternative. There's not. We have to do something. We can't keep kicking the can down the road. We can't consolidate with other districts. That's just not a real option. We could not have paid for this out of our annual funds. Illinois budgets are not built for that. It's not that we were irresponsible as a district. It's that we have addressed the needs, and we've come to the point where we have to do something major. And in the state of Illinois, the way that's done is through asking taxpayers for ballot language like this. So we are confident this is going to be best for the school district and the community. I'll let some of my fellow administrators speak their mind on this too.
So I'll start. So obviously I am employed by 201, but everything that I do, I think through the lens of being a parent of a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. They're my most favorite people in the world, and everything I do, I think about, is this what I would want for my own kids? And when I think about the education that our kids are receiving in 201, it is absolutely yes. We have amazing teachers who care about the whole child. They care about them academically, socially, emotionally. We have amazing students. We have wonderful parents. It's an incredible place to be. But when I look at the facilities, that gives me pause. It's not something that I would want for my own children. And quite frankly, our kids deserve better.
So I'm just going to add a little bit to that. So I was hired here in District 201 over a decade ago as a principal of Miller Elementary School. And I remember coming here and thinking I was like in a Hallmark movie. It's like, oh my God, this town is so quaint. It's so pretty. It's, you know, there's so much tradition, so much richness. People value family so much. And I just thought it was so wonderful. And that's why I'm back, because Westmont has all of those things. But I do believe that we run the risk of losing that, because you know, we can't keep traditions if we don't have young families moving in to keep those alive. That's just not going to happen. And I think our education is spot on. We keep working to improve, to get better, to make sure we're reaching all of our students. We're doing our part. And really now the community has to do theirs. And like Jack says, we wish we didn't have to do this, but we're in this predicament. And so, you know, we will keep doing our part as much as we possibly can, but at some point we need help. So that's what we're here for.
So as my first year here, I kind of reflect, I've probably done about $250 million in construction over the last 15, 16 years under my previous districts. I can talk money all day. I know Dr. Balderman brought out some really good things, but I can tell you what I've seen. So when we built the Morton West Freshman Academy, I saw a student walking through the hallway, very first time once we opened it, and a small Hispanic girl goes, "Wow, this looks like a rich kid's school." She puffed up her chest. She was so proud of herself because that's where she went to school to change her future. When you look at spending, it typically hits a certain population of student. We talk about kids who are excelling in academics, finding a voice. Maybe they're shy, extracurriculars. They're trying to find their superpower. This hits every single child. This is one of those moments in spending where you can actually affect every single 100% of your children. A child's first imprint on their memory in education is going to be this building. This is what they're going to see as a legacy and what they want to do to determine their future. We are looking to build a facility to aid a child's social, emotional, and academic life. It would be a central hub for the community and the children. It's something that not just they would be proud of, but also the community. I see this as a perfect opportunity for you to change, as a community, the future of all these students, all these children that you're helping to raise and that you're helping to build upon so that they become those doctors, those attorneys. They can be carpenters, they can be any sort of position, and they're going to serve you down the line. So all you're doing is paying it forward, and they're going to do that too. But that's what this building is capable of doing, and I'm sorry, but when it comes to environment, that means everything to children. So that's why I'd like for everyone to consider this. This is very important. I've seen the impact on kids in lower income districts, and wow, does it make a difference, not just academically, but socially, proud, going home, talking about what they've done and what they see because that was given to them. And that's what I think we need to do. So just a couple of thoughts from the finance guy. Thank you.
I'll be very cut and dry. I came to this district and there was a massive infrastructure problem. Very early on, I kind of realized that we were in a definite hole that we could not get out of. I watched previous conversations go on about how to fix the elementary problem. The high school is very well established. The junior high is very well established. This district has always had an issue with the elementary schools. At one point, we had 3 of them. We have 1 of them that needs a full gut job. If we are going to be using the taxpayers' money, what makes most sense is to do this once and do it for the rest of time. We could renovate both buildings. We could spend an unbelievable amount of money doing that. You could have viable schools at the end of it, but if you've done that, you've put all that money into it and you've gotten what out of it? You've gotten 2 semi-renovated schools that would be viable, but it does not change this district. This opportunity gives us the potential to consolidate. It gives us the opportunity to manage a district beyond that. Again, we have a situation at the high school that's in very good shape. We have the junior high that's in very good shape. If the elementary school is dealt with, it takes it off of the list. You can manage things from there. You can strategize from there. You can allocate money to do individual projects as opposed to reacting to everything. Everything in this district has been a reaction. You have not been in a situation where you can plan for things. You have to continually bail yourselves out. And until you creatively get out of that, you're stuck in that. And that's where this district has been for 30 years. This move would consolidate things to make it a manageable district for this type of town to carry everything that they've built through the future. Short of that, we don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that they've put together that we would have to deal with. Construction is needed. You got to do it one way or the other. And again, if you have the opportunity to kind of consolidate, change things, you can continue that and everything that they've built as long as you possibly can. And I don't see any reason you would not be able to do that.
I'll be short and sweet and echo everything that my colleagues have said, but Westmont is a really special place. CUSD 201 is a really special place, and having had the unique opportunity to work with the district for many years in my previous role as a coach, and then come and formally be part of the district, the reason that I'm standing here, the reason I'm still here today is because this district is a very special place and this community is a very special place. And in order to continue that, we need this opportunity for our students. We not only need it, they deserve it. And this is an opportunity, and we are coming to the community and asking for support to make a decision that will have a lasting impact on our current students, future generations to come, and really leave a continued legacy in the city of Westmont for all of our families, all of our community members. And it's really just an opportunity to give our students what they deserve, and we're asking for your support in that.
So we can answer questions, you can have a discussion. This is our proposal, what you see on the ballot language, and it really is, at this point, in the hands of the board. So.
We're also hoping that a decision is made in July so that we can move forward with.
That will give us enough lead time to answer community questions, and that's what we're proposing. It's the decision of the board of when they want to put it on the agenda.
Well, let's start there. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good place to start. I mean, it feels like this is at this point, a board discussion, right? I mean, a lot of questions for the administration. Other than the actual language of the proposed ballot measure, which we could get into, but I don't have any questions for the administration. I just think it's the first point is that we should discuss as a board is, do we feel like we need any more information ourselves before having this as an action item on an agenda?
Well, so to that point, right, what we kind of talked about at the last meeting was like potentially adding a special meeting that is just kind of based on this. Based on the doodle polls, the only non-existing non-scheduled board meeting night, that 6 of the 7 board members are available is June 30th.
June 30th, which is right around the corner.
Right around the corner. So if we would like to devote a meeting a full meeting just to discussing this, that's one option. We then have board meetings scheduled the 21st, which 6 of the 7 board members are available for, and the 18th, which 5 of the 7 board members are available for.
Sorry, can you say the months when you say those dates?
Sorry. June 30th, July 21st, and August 18th, which is that's the
limit.
August 18th is the limit, the 23rd? Is that right? Is that the date?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. So.
I don't need a special board meeting. I'm fine voting in July.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I mean, I think that, again, the only thing that I would want to take a little time myself for, and there's plenty time between now and the board meeting in July to do that, is to think through this proposed ballot language, and if it's the exact right language, because that's the one thing that is once we vote on it, cannot be changed. Cannot be,
And I think that I would like to have I know it's an inconvenience for us, but I do think a special meeting to allow the public to come and give public comment with all the board members present before we actually vote, so that we can consider that public comment as a board. So I think having a special meeting would be important and would be necessary.
right, so the idea then being a special board meeting on the 30th of June, that is, because that is really pretty close, that is widely publicized, because if the intent is to get the public, give the public the opportunity to give public comment, because we wouldn't be engaging with the public in that scenario.
No, we would adjust our public comment rules. And yes, it's not as much for us. It is kind of what we discussed last week, was like creating the opportunity for the public to talk to us.
Right.
So understanding that we have these, board meetings are meetings that happen in public, not with the public, and we won't be able to go back and forth, but it is the only way via public comment or email. Hey, send us emails. We love emails. Okay, or email, that the public can directly tell us, not through the administration, not that the administration doesn't do a great job and that we don't trust them, but it is the opportunity for the public to tell us what they would like us to consider in this conversation.
Right.
I guess my question is, that's what the seven meetings have just been about. And I get that we didn't have to come to those, and, I didn't come to every single one, or I showed up halfway through, but I feel like most of us were here for multiple meetings. I think we got the gist of what the community wanted. I guess I just don't see the benefit of additional meeting, like, besides someone coming up and saying, vote yes or vote no, which either way, I don't know if that's going to sway anyone on the board. I don't know what else the community could say to us that they haven't already said in these meetings, I guess is where I'm at, is what additionally are they going to say?
I don't know that it's so much about, like, what else could they say that they haven't already said, as much as giving them the opportunity to say it on record.
But they've had 7 chances to.
That's not been on record.
It's not really been on record, yeah. It's not the same setting. It
It's
really,
not-
the
it is
town
not,
halls aren't the same setting as a board meeting would be. That's a perfectly fair.
This is our meeting. This is not the administration's meeting that they're reporting to us. This is our meeting, on record, videotaped here, public comment, entered into the record. It is that opportunity, which the town halls do not.
And I do understand that, but all of the town halls have been videotaped and posted online, with the questions posted, with the answers posted. And listen, if the board wants that, to have the additional meeting, I'll show up. I
don't know that it's not so much that I want it. I want to make sure we give, especially our fellow board member, Tim, who's voiced it, let's fully flesh this out. Like, let's really talk about it and make sure I want to make sure, for me, it's about making sure I understand exactly what the objectives of the meeting are beyond listening to the public, and that we get the structure of the meeting right if we decide to hold it. You know what I mean? So if we have a meeting, a special meeting on the 30th, there's no action item.
Nope.
There is only public comment and then a discussion item. Because ostensibly, you would like us to also discuss. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, discuss, so we can discuss.
Amongst ourselves, right?
Public comment, we have public comment in the beginning?
Yeah.
We can discuss. There can also be public comment at the end. So we can go and the public can see us discuss that in the record, okay? But we do,
Just real quick, because I want to make sure, I definitely don't want to put words in your mouth, Tim, but in answering your question, I think what Tim wants to see and thinks it would be healthy for the community and for the board and for the possibilities of a referendum are precisely that flow of public comment. We talk about what maybe our takeaways are, or maybe you don't want to talk at all. And I mean, as a board, you don't have to, because again, you don't have to, but to have that discussion in open and recorded and a formal meeting, and then perhaps to even hear more public comment after they hear us discuss. That is the.
It's as close as we can get to having a meeting where we can have, as a board.
As board
sitting
members,
here,
not as community members,
right,
not as, right.
having discussions back and forth.
Yeah.
Can that meeting include a discussion on the proposed ballot language so that it can become an action item in July?
It could.
So I think we would probably just keep it, we would keep it as discussion, referendum discussion, and all that, and I think that the ballot language is part of that conversation. So I don't know that it would need to, I don't know that it would need to be a separate discussion item.
In order to become an action item, it would not need to become.
Them putting it tonight, it could be an action item.
Okay.
If we don't have any, if tonight we were like, great, rock on, go to town, okay? Essentially, it could be an action item on the next meeting. I mean, I don't recommend that. Because again, that piece of where we try not to discuss things and take action on them on the same night, that is for the public. That's not nearly as much for us as it is to give the public the opportunity to see what we're discussing and give us because we represent them.
Okay.
So that is really what that is kind of
Yeah.
geared towards. It has a lot less to do with us.
So yeah, I mean that.
We may need to, if we wanted to amend our public comment policy for that evening, we would have to have an action item, right?
I believe so. I would have to check with the attorney.
We would have quorum, and we would post the meeting. It'd be a special meeting, so we're allowed to have an action item. So that would have to be, we would need to have.
Because that's the next thing I was going to say. Because Tim, I think I understand what you're proposing and why you're proposing it. I think I do. And so I would say that if we're going to do this, we have to get the public comment.
Yeah. So yeah.
The rules of public comment, we would have to be very specific about them. I was going to save this for the. I
have it on my computer screen right now.
For the board, for my board, part of my board report, but we went to this president's training, IASB board president's training thing on a Saturday morning on my birthday.
Some of us stayed
A lot
for
of
the whole
fun.
thing.
And one of the things that was talked about there was like just the different ways that different boards do public comment, and I was like, wow, never thought about that. I never thought about the other thing. I never thought about this. And there are a few of those items that I think would be, for what you're talking about, would be real. They're not part of our current policy, and they would be really good additions for this, to make this the most effective and efficient use of everyone's time. Right? A couple of those things that occur to me that I heard, and also something I saw in this room at a village hall, you were there too, Tim, Kevin, where they basically reminded everyone, don't repeat what the last person said. Don't refer to what the last person said. We want to hear people's opinions. We want to hear people's feedback. We want to hear what people have to say. We don't want to hear the same thing over and over and over again for 45 minutes, right? Because that's where, I'll be honest with you, Tim, that's what my reticence to having this special meeting for this purpose is hearing the same things over and over and over again for 45 minutes or 4 hours, right?
But it may be important for us to hear the same thing over and over again from some people, because we don't know if there's 10 people who are thinking the same way.
So here, I would like to read to you, so this was, I think that this was a board that had kind of done this during COVID. They had adjusted their we were talking about whatever, so. What they say in their policy, our policy is 5 minutes per person, no more than 20 minutes on one topic, which is which is specifically what we would need to amend it for, okay?
Or we could keep it and keep the board, keep it short, but I don't think, I would love to keep public comment to 20 minutes.
That's the feeling of this board meeting, right? So they do something similar, but so they have a couple of options essentially, but their third part of it is identify oneself and be brief. Ordinarily, the time for any one person to address the board during public participation shall be limited to 5 minutes. In unusual circumstances and when an individual has made a request to speak for a longer period of time, the board president may allow a person to speak for more than 5 minutes. Here's where it is. Here's what I think is helpful. If multiple individuals wish to address the board on the same subject, the group is encouraged to appoint a spokesperson. And so what what that looked like and what they essentially kind of described that as is fors, against, so that we can see, right? So that we can see physically in the room the fors and for the against, and
Consolidate.
we can consolidate that. It's not that everybody wouldn't have an opportunity to speak, because we would allow for everybody to have an opportunity to speak. But we would be asking, if the comment's been made already, you don't need to go into the detail on it. Tell us, I reiterate, okay, right? I reiterate what my spokesperson said. But just for the sake of, frankly, everybody's time. So they do, I can send out this policy to you guys, because it does have some other things. It's got conduct oneself with respect and civility. But I thought that was in particular very, very helpful. And they found they use it very frequently, well, not very frequently, when they have topics that bring a lot of folks out. And that was the board president who was talking about it. He'd been board president, I think, for 15 years.
Whoa.
Phew.
But he had said that it made a huge difference in the board's ability to see and hear from the public, and also for the public's ability to communicate with the board in a way that worked. Because yeah, the 5 minute, you stop hearing things after a period of time when you're hearing it. So we want to make sure that we're getting great information, and we're also able to stay engaged in that information.
So if we can, I agree 20 minutes is not long enough. If we can limit this in time, I would be in favor of this board meeting. But only if we limit it in time. If this is going to be, we're going to stay here and listen to every community member, no matter what they say or how long they say it, I do not want to do that.
So let me recap where we're at so far. It sounds like the general consensus is yes to a June 30th special board meeting. Am I wrong on that? Yes.
You June 30th.
It's a conditional yes.
Yes.
Because we haven't addressed.
For the public. That is the direction that we are leaning in. That is what I'm hearing. We would need to open that board meeting with an action item amending our public policy comment, and that action item would include
Public comment policy.
It would include the update, whatever we would like to do it as, and I think that this is a good starting point, but it would also have in there that it is effective only that night. And we have done this before for some other things, and so we already have that process. We would go into public comment, we would go into board discussion, and then we would also have public comment at the end, which these are all standard processes that we follow. I am hearing that we do still want to maintain some limit on the overall time.
Yes.
And do we want to maintain a limit on the individual times, or is something like this where it's essentially asking them to be brief, no more than 5 minutes? Is there a...
So
I like the idea of asking of if they want to go over 5 minutes, they can, you have the discretion to give them some additional time.
Again, here's the issue we have with going, if we set a limit on total time, because that's how we have it structured now, no topic, no single topic, whether and it doesn't say for or against, it just says no single topic shall be discussed for more than 20 minutes. And we're saying, let's say that we make that into 45 minutes, right? and we say that 45 minutes, that means that 9 people can speak. And if someone says, if we say 7 minutes for you, that means that 6 people can speak. And so by giving someone more time, we're by definition saying fewer people can speak. So we have to just think through that for a second and what that trade-off looks like. The other thing that exists is the ceding of time. Like, that's something that can be in our rules as well, that someone is allowed to say, you know what, I signed up for public comment tonight, but I'm giving my 5 minutes to this person. That's something that can be done as well, right? So that means that someone feels like their time was respected, and yet someone else spoke in their stead, right? So that's something that can be pursued. But I'm not a big fan of saying you can speak for 10 and you don't get to speak at all, because we have a limit of 45 minutes.
Yes, I'm not a fan of doing that either. I just think that there needs to be, I mean, if someone's going to go over by 2 or 3 seconds.
Well, yeah. And I
2 or
think
3
that,
seconds isn't an issue. It's 2 or 3 minutes that's the issue.
yeah. I think that as we're talking about this, I'm envisioning like, I would like to give a presentation to the board tonight about all of the da-da-da-da-da, right? I envision that potentially getting way out of control. And that's not the point of it. That takes away from what we are there to do, right? So I am inclined to say that a 5-minute max with the board president's discretion, but not including if you ask for more in the beginning. So, and my discretion would be 30 seconds, not minutes. Like, okay, we're reaching 5 minutes, let's kind of, but also saying this, right? Let's be brief if you're going to speak on multiple topics, da-da-da-da-da, so that we can actually like take in the information and hear from the most people and respect each other, right?
And I think a 45-minute time limit on both periods, or maybe 45 minutes at the beginning and the 30 minutes on the back end period, I think that makes sense, and that gives us 30 minutes or so
Discuss.
in between to discuss.
And we have a reasonable time commitment here. You have, 10 minutes to get things in action, right? Because you have the action item as well. So let's call it 15 minutes there, 45 minutes of public comment. That's an hour, half-hour discussion, So we're at a 2-hour commitment, roughly. And that feels doable. And honestly, I mean, to the point of what I wanted to say earlier, like, as much as I'm not in favor of this special meeting, from the outset, I would say that this is an important enough topic that if it's a 2-hour commitment, it's an important thing to acquiesce here, right? From my perspective, to me, it's an important thing that for me, I say, I don't want to, but this is an investment that I can make for this cause, I can make.
Kevin?
I'm in agreement. I want to hear the maximum amount from the public we can, but I agree. I like the idea, 5-minute time limit. If you want to extend the time at the beginning, that's fine. I like it. It's an important enough subject we need to hear.
Yeah. Okay, are you guys okay if I work on the language of that?
Yeah. And
Shannon
also
and I
the
were working
mechanics
on that.
of it, like the actual, how are you going to tell people, hey, look, your time's up, wrap it up?
I'm looking at time clocks right now.
I don't know.
She
Get
is.
a clock and a
She
buzzer.
is. She is literally looking at them right now. I can see her screen.
Like an actual clock? Because you
Yes.
can do a digital
No.
one
So
on
like,
Google
so
where
I could like
it explodes after
she's
5
looking at one
minutes.
to sit right here.
It's a fine line. It's a really fine line between being very respectful
Right.
of someone's time and explaining to them, like, look, we don't want to get the hook.
Yeah.
We don't want to get the hook. And so as long as everyone plays by these rules, no one has to get the hook.
Yeah, okay, so I will work on the language and the mechanics of that. Shannon and I will work on that. Would you guys want to see it in recap? It would have to be in the 26th recap. if you want to see it before, are you okay with me just getting it together?
I'm okay with you getting it.
I'm
I think
okay.
I can trust you.
Yeah.
We're good.
I would actually prefer you just.
Thanks. Wonderful. Okay. Is there anything in particular that you guys would like to have available from the district, from the administration for that evening?
Good question.
Any packets of information, I'm thinking about stuff in particular, like maybe things that we've talked about not in the last couple of months that do have to do with this, with how we got to this decision, or how we got here, essentially, right? So maybe things that, I don't know, we've discussed in the last year or two.
I think we have to discuss it. We can have those packets again for anybody to pick up. I don't think it needs to be talked about.
So the packets that essentially the administration's been doing at the town hall meetings.
Yeah.
What else is there? Anything else that anybody would like to have?
No.
What time do you want the meeting to start?
Well, certainly, I mean, I want to have a copy of this
Language.
The ballot
proposed
language.
Ballot language, because I
Yeah.
think that's something that I think that we should discuss.
I think just that with that packet of info is your presentation from tonight.
yeah, that's great.
Printed
Yeah.
on top of it as well, because that's the,
Carl and Shannon, can you send that on an email? So Carl, you need to get that to Shannon, and Shannon gets it to the board members tomorrow, please.
I mean, I agree with
but
Tim.
let's just, we don't need it tomorrow. Board update.
Yeah, board update's fine.
More importantly, we
That's
just
the
want it
one thing
printed
that I
that
do wanna
night.
discuss.
I'm actually asking for something to be printed, Jack. I would like, I'd like to make that point. I'm asking for something to be printed up.
But I'd also, if somebody wants to give public comment on it.
On it, they
I'd
should be able
love
to see it on the
hear
screen
that.
or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah, so if we can have the presentation from tonight available and loaded up on the computer, let's print it, but let's also have it loaded on the computer. If we can also have the packets of info printed, and let's also have that linked up on our, so that if someone does reference something, or we want to reference something, we want to pull something up, that we can. Is that okay?
Tell me about why on the screens.
So
Or
that on the
what-
recording, it
or
can
what
be,
on the screens.
because if it's on the screens, then it's
Ballot
available
language.
during the
The
recording.
ballot
The
language.
ballot language is,
On
I
the
think, the
screen.
big thing.
Okay.
But maybe even some of the bullets that were
Yeah.
presented are
Yeah.
the district's proposal to the board and what we're looking to get feedback on. I mean, so
And
it does
look,
make sense to me.
It's out of an abundance of caution, because if we start to reference something in that document, if we start to talk about how many school districts have passed referendums in the last, right, then we can go to that on the screen, and then it can be reflected so that anybody in the audience would be able to see what we're referencing, but then also anybody who wanted to watch it later on would be able to see it. So. Does the administration want to bring anything else to that meeting? Think on it.
Everything we put on the website, we made the presentation tonight. We are willing to answer any questions, and we're willing to provide any documents, but we feel like Edith?
I mean, yeah, but
I would just like to know if you would like it advertised, if you want a postcard sent out, how you
Well,
want, like.
I mean, I would like it advertised as widely as possible. We're not incurring in the cost of a postcard, though. That's not, we've never done and I wouldn't expect we would do for a special board meeting, a postcard mailer or anything like that. But I mean, on the website, if we're able to get it on the marquee at the library for, whatever we can do to publicize it, I think is
Well,
positive.
I think postcards are actually very effective. We had a comment a couple of town halls ago about the fact that
They're also
postcards were
expensive.
very, very
They're expensive.
effective.
What's the turnaround on that?
I do think it's expensive, but I do think we've seen a lot of new faces because of it.
Edith has been turning it around. Who are we using? Remind me. Alpha? No.
Who's the?
I didn't get my postcard until the
Lithoprint.
day
Yeah, I was
after
gonna say.
the first meeting.
Same.
That
So,
one was
FYI.
that one was like
Because
real
it's-
tight, and it was
Well, I
real
mean, this is
questionable.
2 weeks.
This is 2
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, but Edith has like Edith has
can't-
the design already, So that had to have some design stuff that,
What's the cost of a postcard that you sent?
1,800.
And how soon can it, I mean, how soon could it be in people's mailboxes?
That I can't tell you because it's also, I mean, I can work with the printer, they can get it to they can get it out as fast as they can, but I don't, I mean,
Well, last time,
I
the
don't
way
know.
it went down, even if Heather got it the day after the first meeting, if you gave the green light tonight, we could probably get it out by Thursday, so it would be out, what is Thursday, the 18th?
Yes.
So let's even say the 19th, it would be in people's homes at least 6 or 7 days before the 30th.
yeah, I mean, the post office is another issue, but
Yeah, no, you can't control for
I
that.
got
I
a good
understand
tip. I got a good tip from one of the residents about how to say, and people need it, residents need it in their hands by, can you guarantee that? So I feel like it would get to residents in time.
tend to
And
think
I
it's a
do
good
think it's worth
spend.
it. That's my opinion, but.
It was,
you
the
guys decide.
turnaround was 3 days. 4 was the late one.
Yes.
So if you got it out the 18th or 19th, it would be in people's hands by the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, let's even extend it. That's a full 6 days before.
I also think it might be good to have the amended public policy, public comment language on there, which I could turn around quick enough and get to you.
That, my only fear then, I didn't realize the cost was that low. I thought it was a lot more.
I agree.
Yeah, anything larger than a postcard, real significant. I mean, 1,800 is no,
It's not a small amount, but
No
it's a
small
lot
amount.
less than I thought it was, and that's why,
Yeah.
and so then my only other thing is the turnaround. If, I mean, I wouldn't, I agree with you that the language for the public comment policy, amended now I did it.
Yep.
Public comment policy, would be great to have on the postcard. However, maybe a QR code so you have time to like get it out, and then, because you can always link that QR code
good idea.
to content later or whatever.
oh, just, so
That's a
we
good
can,
idea.
so we essentially can reference and say that we will be amending our public, to
By the
allow for
time,
more
by the time
time
the
or
postcard actually
something.
gets printed and sent and mailed, I mean, it gives you 5 more days to actually
No, it's really- that's a really good
develop
point.
it. 'Cause I
Plus,
don't-
if you only have a postcard, it might be hard to read, and, you know, the point of a postcard is to get information that someone's gonna look at and
immediately act.
They
on it,
need to
make a
know that we're
decision.
having the meeting and that we're adjusting our public policy
And what the
comment to
meeting's
allow
about,
for.
yeah.
That's
So,
it. Just do
Okay.
it, do it. Because I do think it's best, if we're gonna invest this time, let's publicize it as much as we possibly can, right? In the short period of time, so.
Okay. Then Leah, I will connect with you.
I just emailed you.
Okay.
And Shannon. Okay.
That meeting at, because I got to reach out
Yeah.
to Village Hall to see if we can get it here.
Yeah. You guys want to stick with 6:30? Do you want to do 6? We won't have closed session unless there's,
I would love 6 o'clock.
Yeah, that's
I
I
would
think
love
6 o'clock's fine.
I would love 6 o'clock. Gives people time to get here after work and whatever, but you know,
It gets us out.
by 8-ish.
We'll see if we can get Village Hall. We might not be able to host it here, but we'll find out
Okay.
the next couple of days.
yeah, let's say 6 to 8 p.m. And maybe we'll put an end time on the meeting. That was another thing. Boards do that. They put end times on their meeting.
You just ended?
Oh, I've got one for you. I got one coming. I've got one coming that's going to change your life.
It very well
Wait till
might.
board reports.
Yeah, okay.
Wait till board reports.
Anything
We're
else
almost
on
there.
this? I feel like we've got some good direction. Okay, anybody else? Beautiful. I'm gonna, hearing silence, I'm gonna say we're good. Okay, into our action items. The chair will entertain a motion to authorize and direct the treasurer to pay any additional bills received in June 2026 that have been budgeted for in the current fiscal year.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Franklin?
Yes.
Mr. Avia?
Yes.
Ms. Mill?
Yes.
Ms. Conover?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Mr. Herman?
Yes.
Motion passes. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the resolution ratifying proposed amendments to the SACID Joint Articles of Agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Franklin?
Yes.
Mr. Avia?
Yes.
Ms. Mill?
Yes.
Ms. Conover?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Mr. Herman?
Yes.
Motion passes. The chair, The chair will entertain a motion to approve the Frog Street Pre-K Curricular Resource for the 2026-2027 school year as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Avia?
Yes?
Ms. Mill?
Yes.
Ms. Conover?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Mr. Herman?
Yes.
Ms. Franklin?
Motion passes. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the self-workers' compensation renewal in the amount of $193,642 for the 2026-2027 school year as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Mill?
Yes.
Ms. Conover?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Mr. Herman?
Yes.
Ms. Franklin?
Yes.
Mr. Avia?
Yes.
Motion passes. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the adoption of the routine 2026-2027 business office resolutions as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Conover?
Yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Mr. Herman?
Yes.
Ms. Franklin?
Yes.
Mr. Avia?
Yes?
Ms. Mill?
Yes. Motion passes. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the policies as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Mr. Herman?
Yes.
Ms. Franklin? Mr. Avia?
Yes?
Ms. Mill?
Yes. Woohoo! You're up, Jack. Superintendent's report.
Very briefly, we had a strong finish on the school year. We'll do a complete report on the data we have once we have a comprehensive data, but our chronic absenteeism rate was something that most districts can only dream about. That was a major priority for us, but it's hovering around 5%, where the state average is in the mid-20s. There's local districts that are celebrating 15%. So that was, we really prioritized attendance, and the parents and the kids and the staff and the whole team really knocked it out of the park. It's pretty incredible. The literacy scores, incredible, especially 5 through 11, like stuff we dreamed about, but you'll get a full report on that. And I'm really proud of our kids and our staff and our whole school community, because it really was a strong end of the school year, and the data is pretty overpowering, but we'll do a complete presentation. So,
Thank you. Board reports.
So as I mentioned earlier, we went to this board president's training, and one thing that really stuck out to me was, like, I think we do a good job, and based on what I saw, I think we do a really good job as a board in following parliamentary procedure. However, we don't do it, technically speaking, we don't do it as well as we could do it, right? In other words, we actually kind of, I think, coincidentally do it very well. However, there are procedures that are A, available, and B, recommendable, especially, for example, when considering a motion on the because we kind of do this, we just did it a second ago, we do it very, procedurally, but there are moments. A great example that comes to mind was when we had the high school sign, the night that we had the high school sign, then we decided to postpone a vote on something, and I was lost procedurally in how that was supposed to really happen. I think we did it right, but we could have done it better if we all knew the rules, right? Not the rules, the procedures. They're not rules, they're procedures. And here's the one you're gonna love. Did you know that you could call to adjourn a meeting at any time during the meeting? And it takes the highest precedent and has to get voted on right away. And I told...
And Carlos wants to do it.
I want to do it, just to do it one night. I moved to adjourn, and you have to vote on it.
Carlos wants to do it really bad.
And
Can you move to adjourn?
I don't know, they weren't real clear on that. I mean, until your board members want to kill you, I don't know. But anyway, the point, all joking aside, the point is, and I am joking about doing that.
Maybe.
But yeah, just understand, they have this little cheat sheet, and I'm going to get into...
That was the thing,
I don't want to get into that part like tonight in my board report, but I think that maybe, I don't know when we're going to do, it feels like it's going to be a while before we do a board evaluation.
September, I think we're having.
But I think this should really be a part of our board evaluation, and maybe even the main focus of it, just because it felt, I was like, wow, you can do it that way. That seems more efficient, and that seems more fair, and that seems more, and so Yes, that's my report out is that, man, we should really look at those and some of it's got
Yeah.
weird language, but it's,
Yeah, I mean, they had some tools that I think like many eyes in the room were like, what? Like,
You
just
can do that?
one page of just a super easy kind of one pager that I'd never really seen before. And, you know, maybe I had it in my original board training, but there's so many
I
things.
didn't, for sure.
Right? So I thought there were some really phenomenal resources that I'm still kind of working through. In particular, the motions and like what they mean and how to do the right one and like what are the steps and whatnot, in a very easy way to have them available when those rare circumstances happen, because these are circumstances that never happen regularly. So of course we don't have them right in front of us,
Right.
right? So there was some of that stuff. There was a ton of there was just eye-opening experiences. It was really nice to be in a room of other presidents and vice presidents from, frankly, all over Northern Illinois.
All over
This was not DuPage. This
Yeah,
was,
right.
they host 2 of these, one in Naperville and one in Springfield. So, I mean, this was boards from
yeah,
all over.
all over.
And it was really cool to see them there. There was a great conversation at the end with a couple of board presidents from, that was like some best practices on communications that I sent over to Edith that were really like eye-opening, and just great ideas and things that just never think of. And these experiences are great in that way. So yeah, lots of things to think about. There are boards that do like a board meeting survey at the end, right? So at the end of every meeting, they have a standard, all the members fill out a survey on how the meeting went.
I don't want to do that.
Like,
Make it like an NPS survey where it's just one question. Would you recommend this
board
meeting to a friend or colleague?
are you a promoter? Are you a promoter or a detractor of this board meeting? Yes, some of it a little bit much, right? But the idea of like some standardized, and they had lots of options of like some standardized, like, how are we doing, right? Like check-ins that we don't do very often. We do our board retreat once a year, but this is more like check-ins on that stuff. Like, and I think about in particular, right? We've had 3 new board members in the last 9 months.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I actually like that.
And I think in particular in those instances, because that's when things start to go, that's when you're like, because you're just managing a lot of different stuff. And that's when it's like, are we still on track? Are we still really sticking to what we need to do, what our role? So lots of great stuff came out of it. We are going to get that board, I'm trying to schedule. Arlana's been out on medical leave and that threw a whole bunch of stuff off. So we are going to get that board retreat scheduled. We'll talk about it. I think there's some tweaks that we could probably make to our agenda that would be very helpful. You know, but it was really great.
good.
It was really eye-opening. It was a really wonderful morning into the afternoon to spend. Yeah. So,
It was.
more to come. Any other board reports?
Yes, I just want to thank Mr. Landreth. He led a trip to Taiwan for the group of students. I'm not envious of that flight, but you know, he opened up the world to the students.
Yeah.
You know, they experienced different culture, broadened their students' perspectives. My son loved it. He just thought it was so great. He went to Italy earlier this year, but he really liked Taiwan. You know, he spent time with Taiwanese students, went to their school, just had a great time. I'm just so thankful to Pete Landreth for leading these trips. I think it's just so enriching for the students. You know, I wish more students could go. So thank you.
Yeah, he's a really special
He really is.
Oh, yeah.
teacher. Many great teachers in this district, but what he does is way above and beyond. It
Yeah.
makes our place unique.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Any other board reports? Seeing none, I'm going to say, do we have any public comment? No? Okay. Moving right along into future meetings and events. We have our now newly to be scheduled June 30th special meeting from 6 to 8 p.m. Location TBD. And then our next regular board meeting is July 21st, and that one is scheduled at South School. This is not available, so we'll be there. No other communications, and the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn the June 16th, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Education.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thanks, everyone.